thing. A low-value woman doesn't feel complete until someone else tells her she's beautiful, worthy, or loved. She's addicted to attention, likes, thing, compliments, or male approval. But high-value women, they don't chase attention, they attract respect through inner peace and self-assurance. Thing. 2. She's emotionally reactive. Every little thing becomes a drama. If someone doesn't text back, she assumes rejection. Thing. If a friend gets more attention, she feels threatened. This emotional instability drains her energy and pushes people away. Thing. A woman who values herself knows how to regulate emotions, not weaponize them. 2, 3. Thing. She lacks purpose and direction. She moves through life based on others' plans, parents, partners, friends. Thing. She's defined by relationships instead of her own goals. But a woman with vision never loses herself. Thing. She builds her path with clarity and confidence. 4. She compromises her standards to be loved. When a woman fears being alone. Thing. She accepts disrespect. She lowers her standards just to keep someone close. But understand this, love without respect is not love. Thing. It's dependency. A truly valuable woman would rather walk alone than walk with someone who dims her worth. 2, 5. Thing. She competes with other women. Low value energy compares, criticizes, and envies. When another woman succeeds, she feels smaller instead of inspired. Thing. This mindset creates insecurity and isolation. High-value women uplift others because they know another woman's light doesn't dim yours. Thing. 2, 6. She avoids accountability, the most dangerous sign. She never says, "It's my fault." She blames men, luck, thing, or her past for everything wrong. But healing starts with honesty. A woman who owns her mistakes owns her power. Thing. Final message: being high value is not about perfection. It's about awareness, growth, and boundaries. Thing. It's about knowing when to walk away, when to heal, and when to rise. The truth is, you teach the world how to treat you through what you tolerate. Thing. What you expect and what you become. So ask yourself, are you living from insecurity or from inner worth? Thing. Because the moment you choose self-respect over validation, you stop being a low-value woman and start becoming unforgettable. Thing. When a woman constantly seeks validation, it becomes one of the clearest signs of low self-worth and low value. Thing. This isn't about being confident or appreciating compliments. It's about depending on external approval to feel good about yourself. Thing. A woman who lives for validation builds her entire identity around how others see her, not how she truly sees herself. Every choice she makes. Thing. From what she wears to how she behaves, is silently asking the question, thing, will they like me? Instead of, do I like who I am becoming? The psychology behind this is rooted in insecurity and emotional dependence. Thing. When a woman doesn't have a stable sense of self, she subconsciously begins to search for mirrors, people, relationships, thing, and social attention that reflect temporary feelings of worth. It feels good in the moment. A compliment gives her a rush of confidence. Thing. A like on social media gives her relief. A man's attention makes her feel beautiful. Thing. But it's a fragile kind of happiness because the moment those things are taken away, her sense of value crumbles. Thing. This kind of woman becomes addicted to reassurance. She keeps checking her phone, waiting for someone to text her back. Thing. Constantly evaluating how people respond to her posts, her stories, her looks. The validation becomes her emotional oxygen. Without it, thing, she feels anxious, invisible, or forgotten. Thing. It's not always her fault. Society constantly tells women that their value lies in how they look or how many people desire them. Thing. But what separates a low-value woman from a high-value one is awareness. The low-value woman doesn't even realize she's living for attention. Thing. She mistakes it for love. She may post pictures not because she enjoys expressing herself, but because she's hungry for reaction. Thing. She may change her opinions, her clothing style, even her goals just to fit in or gain approval. Deep inside, thing. She's scared. scared that if she doesn't please others, she'll lose love, admiration, or connection. But here's the truth thing. When a woman's confidence is built on external validation, it's never real confidence, it's performance. And no performance lasts forever thing. In relationships, this behavior becomes even more visible. A woman who seeks validation might become clingy, overly available thing, or anxious when she doesn't get constant attention from her partner. She interprets silence as rejection thing, and minor disagreements as signs of abandonment. Her emotions swing depending on how much affection or attention she receives thing. This creates an emotional roller coaster, not only for her but also for the person she's with thing. Because love turns into a chase for reassurance rather than mutual respect thing. You'll notice that such a woman often falls for emotionally unavailable men or men who give mixed signals. Why? Because deep down thing, the lack of consistent validation from those men mirrors her own inner instability. She's subconsciously drawn to what confirms her insecurities thing. Every time she tries to earn attention from someone who withholds it, it feels like a challenge, one that keeps her hooked thing, because finally getting their approval feels like a victory, but it's temporary, and soon she needs another dose of reassurance. This cycle quietly destroys her peace. What's more dangerous is that this validation-seeking pattern makes her easily manipulated thing. People can sense when someone needs approval. They start to use compliments, promises, and emotional rewards to get what they want thing. When a woman doesn't know her own worth, she'll trade her time, her energy, even her dignity just to feel seen. She'll ignore red flags thing, excuse bad behavior, and keep giving chances to people who don't deserve her just to avoid feeling rejected thing. That is why understanding this psychological pattern is so crucial. Because it's not just about attention, it's about emotional control thing. A high-value woman, on the other hand, doesn't depend on validation because she validates herself thing. She knows her worth without needing it to be announced. She enjoys compliments, but she's not addicted to them thing. She shares her light without demanding applause. She understands that approval from others can be pleasant, but it is not necessary thing. Her self-esteem is internal, built from self-awareness, discipline, and emotional maturity. That's what makes her presence magnetic thing. When a woman learns to detach her worth from other people's opinions, something powerful happens. She stops chasing and starts attracting thing. She becomes calm, composed, and grounded. She no longer feels the urge to prove herself or to seek attention thing, because her focus shifts inward, on growing, learning, and loving herself. She becomes secure in who she is, and that energy is unshakable thing. It's not easy to reach that place. Many women who seek validation grew up in environments where love was conditional thing. Maybe she only received praise when she achieved something, looked a certain way, or pleased others. So as an adult thing, she repeats that same emotional pattern. The key to transformation is self-awareness. When a woman begins to notice her need for approval thing. Instead of judging herself, she must gently question it. Why do I need this? What am I afraid of if I stop seeking it thing? That question opens the door to healing. The shift begins when she starts giving herself the things she expects from others. Attention, care thing. Praise and acceptance. She begins to compliment herself, celebrate her efforts, and validate her emotions. She builds inner peace by being her own biggest supporter. Over time, she realizes she doesn't need to be seen by everyone. She only needs to be seen by herself. The woman who no longer chases validation becomes free. Her energy changes. She moves with confidence, speaks with clarity, and sets boundaries without fear. People respect her not because she demands attention, but because she carries silent authority. Her worth is no longer up for negotiation. That's the true mark of a high-value woman. She doesn't need validation, because she's already rooted in self-respect. The lesson is simple yet profound. The The moment you stop asking, am I enough for them? And start asking, are they aligned with the woman I'm becoming? You rise from low value to high value. Validation feels good, but self-acceptance feels peaceful. And peace is what truly makes a woman powerful. An emotionally reactive woman lives in a constant state of turbulence. Her mood is dictated by what happens around her rather than what she chooses to feel within herself. She often believes that her emotions are uncontrollable, that people make her angry, situations make her sad, or that the world is constantly testing her. But in reality, what's happening is a lack of emotional regulation. When a woman doesn't have control over her emotional responses, she becomes a victim of every little event, word, or gesture. It's not strength to react to everything. True strength lies in mastering the art of response. An emotionally reactive woman often believes that feeling deeply equals being real or being passionate. But there's a difference between feeling emotions and being controlled by them. When a woman is in low value energy, her emotions dominate her behavior. If someone doesn't reply to her message quickly, she feels rejected and overthinks. If someone gives her a small criticism, she takes it as an attack on her worth. When her partner disagrees with her, she interprets it as disrespect rather than a difference of opinion. Everything feels personal. Every small inconvenience becomes a mountain of frustration. This emotional reactivity often comes from unresolved pain or past wounds. Maybe she was invalidated as a child or told her feelings were too much. Maybe she learned to express herself only through emotional intensity because it was the only way she got attention or control. Over time, that emotional habit becomes her identity. She starts believing she's just sensitive or too emotional, but deep down, she's simply unhealed. The problem with staying in this reactive state is that it keeps her trapped in chaos. Her emotions swing like a pendulum: excitement, anger, disappointment, relief, all in one day. She can't find peace because she's constantly waiting for the next emotional trigger. In relationships, this becomes exhausting. Partners start feeling like they have to walk on eggshells, friends start keeping distance, and even she feels drained by her own overthinking. She may cry easily, get angry quickly, or feel deeply hurt over minor situations. She may replay conversations in her mind and create meanings that weren't there. The emotional storm inside her pushes people away. Not because she's unlovable, but because her instability makes others feel unsafe. When emotions are unpredictable, connection becomes difficult. A high-value woman, on the other hand, doesn't suppress emotions. She manages them. She doesn't let her anger or sadness drive her decisions. She pauses, reflects, and understands before reacting. She might still feel deeply, but she has learned emotional intelligence. The ability to feel without losing control. A woman who can regulate her emotions communicates calmly even when she's upset. She listens more than she explodes. She responds instead of reacting. That composure doesn't mean she's cold. It means she's powerful. Because when you can control yourself, no one else can control you. An emotionally reactive woman, however, gives away her power without realizing it. Every time she reacts impulsively, shouting, crying over texting, blocking, or threatening, she shows that she's not in control of herself. People who want to manipulate her learn her triggers. They know how to push her buttons to get what they want. Emotional instability becomes a weakness that others can use. For example, someone can guilt trip her, knowing she'll react emotionally and give in. Or they can withdraw affection, knowing it'll make her chase harder. Her emotions become her cage. To move from low value to high value, a woman must first learn emotional awareness. This means noticing feelings as they arise, naming them without judgment. Instead of saying, I'm angry because he ignored me. She can reframe it as thing. I feel hurt because I wanted acknowledgement. That small shift transforms chaos into understanding. Once she recognizes the root emotion thing, she gains the power to choose how to deal with it. The more she practices this awareness, the calmer she becomes thing. It's also important for her to understand that reacting emotionally doesn't make her expressive. It makes her unstable in the eyes of others thing. People respect emotional stability because it signals maturity and strength thing. The woman who can hold herself together in chaos commands attention naturally. When she's disappointed thing, she expresses it clearly instead of dramatizing it. When she's angry, she sets boundaries instead of losing control thing. Her calm energy becomes magnetic. Emotional reactivity also affects self-perception. When a woman constantly reacts to her environment thing, she starts to lose trust in herself. She regrets words said in anger, actions taken in impulse, or decisions made in emotional intensity thing. That regret slowly erodes self-respect. Each outburst chips away at her confidence. The high-value woman understands that emotions are temporary thing, but their consequences are lasting. So she learns to pause thing. She creates a small gap between what she feels and what she does, and in that gap lies her power. The truth is thing. Emotional control is not about being robotic, it's about emotional maturity thing. It's the ability to sit with discomfort without letting it define you. It's knowing that not every thought deserves attention thing, and not every emotion deserves a reaction. The low-value woman feels everything and reacts instantly thing. The high-value woman feels everything but chooses her response wisely. That difference defines emotional power thing. Developing this power takes time and self-reflection. It might mean journaling emotions instead of texting them out in anger thing. It might mean walking away from arguments to breathe. It might mean seeking therapy, meditating thing, or simply learning to observe emotions without judgment. Every small act of restraint builds inner stability. Every time she pauses instead of reacting, she strengthens her emotional muscle. Eventually, the emotionally reactive woman transforms into an emotionally intelligent one. People begin to notice her calmness. Her peace becomes her presence. She no longer gets easily offended because she understands that others' behavior says more about them than about her. She doesn't argue to prove her worth. She speaks to be understood. She becomes intentional, measured, and wise. Emotional regulation is the foundation of self-respect. When a woman learns to master her emotions, she stops being predictable and starts being powerful. No one can provoke her or manipulate her. Her calmness becomes her armor, and her peace becomes her power. That is the true evolution, from being emotionally reactive to being emotionally resilient. And once she learns that, she no longer lives at the mercy of her feelings. She becomes the author